In recent months, the borderlands between Ukraine's SUMY region and Russia's Kursk region have become a focal point in the ongoing conflict. What was once a quiet frontier is now a zone of relentless artillery fire, drone strikes, and shifting front lines. Russian and Ukrainian forces are locked in a battle for control of villages like Novenka, Basivka, Vasilivka, and Gorovka, places that have changed hands or been abandoned as the fighting intensifies. Russian military channels have recently highlighted the achievements of the 22nd Motorized Rifle Regiment, part of the Sever Group. According to official reports, Russian troops have managed to recover and display a range of Western-supplied armored vehicles that were either destroyed in combat or left behind by retreating Ukrainian units. Images of captured Abrams tanks, Leopard vehicles, and Bradley infantry fighting vehicles have sparked global debate. Many are now questioning whether Western military aid is truly making a decisive difference on the battlefield. When the first American M1 Abrams tanks arrived in Ukraine, expectations were sky-high. These machines, once considered the pinnacle of armored warfare, were seen as a potential game-changer. Yet, the reality on the ground has proven far more complicated. The heavy weight of the Abrams, ideal for desert operations, has become a liability in Ukraine's muddy fields and intricate trench networks. There have been several instances where these tanks became immobilized or had to be abandoned by their crews under fire. This issue is compounded by the fact that most Abrams tanks sent to Ukraine are older M1A1 models, previously used in Iraq. Their technology is no longer cutting edge, and their gas turbine engines, while powerful, are ill-suited for Ukraine's harsh climate and logistical constraints. Some units were retrofitted with diesel engines before being shipped, but maintenance remains a daunting task for Ukrainian mechanics working under constant threat. The challenges are not limited to tanks. Other Western vehicles, such as the Max Pro and Stryker, have also struggled. The Max Pro, designed for mine resistance in urban environments, is vulnerable in open terrain, especially against Russian artillery and surveillance drones. The Stryker, though more agile, cannot withstand the advanced anti-tank weapons that have become commonplace on the Ukrainian front. Both sides have adapted rapidly, introducing new tactics and technologies. Russia and Ukraine now deploy kamikaze drones and precision-guided munitions capable of striking armored vehicles from a distance. Even the thick armor of Western tanks has not always been enough to protect them from coordinated drone and artillery attacks. The battlefield has become a proving ground for evolving military technology, where every advantage is tested by the realities of war. In Moscow, Russia has showcased the seized Western vehicles in a public exhibition, displaying more than 30 pieces of heavy equipment as trophies. This display serves as a stark reminder that advanced weaponry alone does not guarantee victory. In the SUMY region and along the border, fighting continues unabated. Both Russian and Ukrainian forces claim progress, but neither side has achieved a decisive breakthrough. The ongoing battles make it clear that technological superiority is only one factor among many. Terrain, logistics, adaptability, and troop morale often play a more decisive role than the latest hardware. The Western equipment, once touted as a turning point, is now facing the unforgiving conditions of Ukraine's eastern front, where mud, trenches, and constant shelling test every machine and soldier. This situation has prompted a broader reassessment of NATO's military doctrine. Former Ukrainian Commander-in-Chief Valery Zaluzhny has openly warned Western partners that traditional strategies, relying on air dominance and armored columns, may no longer be effective in today's conflicts. He has called for sweeping reforms, not just in weapons procurement, but also in doctrine, organization, training, and budgeting. Analysts have echoed these concerns, noting that Russia's performance in Ukraine demonstrates the vulnerability of long-standing Western advantages. Russian tactics in air defense and electronic warfare have challenged NATO's presumed superiority. Even if NATO were to pivot toward new technologies and away from tanks, experts estimate it could take 5 years or more to fully adapt, time during which Russia would likely continue to innovate. One of the most striking developments has been Russia's rapid expansion of its defense industry. Unlike Western nations, which often rely on slow, profit-driven procurement, Russia has shifted to a full-scale war economy. Its factories now operate around the clock, producing tanks, artillery, and ammunition at a pace that surpasses the combined output of NATO countries. Russia is currently capable of manufacturing about 3 million artillery shells annually, while Western countries hope to reach 2 million by the end of 2025. Tank production has doubled, and the output of artillery systems has multiplied since the conflict began. This production surge is not just about quantity. Russian industry has proven highly adaptable and efficient, keeping costs low and ensuring a steady supply to frontline troops. In contrast, Western militaries are still hampered by bureaucratic delays and higher manufacturing costs, which can slow the delivery of critical equipment. The transformation of Russia's defense sector stands out as a key lesson of this war. It demonstrates that modern conflict is not just about fielding the best technology, but about the ability to adapt quickly and produce at scale. While Western countries debate reforms, Russia has already implemented them, positioning its industry for a prolonged and intense confrontation. Looking ahead, the question remains: which side will falter first under the strain? Western nations face the urgent task of modernizing their defense industries and rethinking their military doctrines to meet new challenges. Russia, for its part, has shown it can ramp up production and adapt its tactics as needed. The battles along the SUMY-Kursk border and the display of captured Western vehicles are just one piece of a much larger puzzle. They underscore that success in modern warfare depends on a blend of technology, logistics, flexibility, and determination. For Ukraine, Western military support remains vital. However, the belief that advanced tanks and armored vehicles would single-handedly shift the balance has proven overly optimistic. The reality is more nuanced. Vehicles are lost, captured, or abandoned. Troops must adapt to ever-changing conditions, and both sides are learning from each engagement. The lessons emerging from Ukraine will shape Western military strategy for years to come. It is clear that NATO can no longer rely solely on its traditional strengths. Modernization, improved training, and doctrinal innovation are essential. Russia's ability to manage its war machine efficiently and flexibly has forced a rethink across the alliance. The outcome of this contest remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the experience of this conflict will leave a lasting mark on military thinking worldwide. As the world watches events unfold in Ukraine, the images of captured Western tanks in Moscow serve as a potent symbol of the challenges ahead. Both sides are determined to hold their ground and seize every possible advantage. The struggle is far from over, and the ultimate victor remains unknown. What is certain is that the lessons learned here will influence the way wars are fought in the future. What's your perspective? How should Ukraine and its allies respond to these evolving challenges? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more in-depth analysis and updates.